We're here at CONEXPO-CON Ag at the ALLU USA booth, and we're going to be speaking with Ian about the new ALLU concrete bucket. But this sucker can do a whole lot more than just crushing concrete. Ian's going to tell us a little bit about why he's excited about it. First, Ian, can you tell us what you do?
Yeah, so kind of a unique situation. So I represent ALLU. I'm the new dealer distributor, bringing basically ALLU to Canada, primarily Ontario first, because that's where I live. But the unique thing about me is I actually own an excavation company as well. So I'm an end user. I have the ALLU AC crushing bucket. I have a DN 312 variable drum screening bucket and a DS 312 fixed drum bucket with X75 drums. So I play around with them. I do remediation jobs. I do on-site crushing. Used to be primarily a civil contractor, and now we're kind of branching out into more demolition and remediation, recycling type work.
What's exciting about it to you?
Yeah, so I'm really excited for this one. I keep telling them they got to send it to me as quickly as possible. But so the thing that's really great about this one is that, well, a couple things. So the unique thing about this one is that it's going to screen the fines out of the material before crushing the material. And when you have a lot of fines, especially in demolition, you end up with, like, say you knock down a foundation or something and you cave it all into the hole, but now you get the mud and the gravel and everything else around it coming in with it. So when you go to crush that, you're now mixing all that mud and gravel and everything in with your crushed product. Gravel's fine, mud not so much. The other crushing bucket we have, the one I own, it's a jaw crusher. So when you have more fines and more mud, it slows down your crushing process because it almost acts like a pillow. So if you got chunks of concrete in there, but the whole plates are all gummed up with mud, softens the impact, takes longer to get through. So with this bucket, it works as a screening bucket as well. Can't really see from this side, maybe we'll take a look at the back side after. It's going to screen the fines out first, and then it's going to start tossing the rubble around against the hard ox plate up in the top, where it's going to be forced back up to the top of the drum, where it actually is going to start crushing the material, but it's got the fines out of the way first. So if you got a lot of mud, you can actually just, reach out over here, screen the mud out first, then go over to here and start making your reusable product.
Okay. Well, in the presenter was showing us how this has a jaw crusher and rotors involved. Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So it's not a jaw crusher.
Okay.
It's a jaw crusher. You have a fixed plate and you have your oscillating plate on an eccentric pulley, so it's going to smash against it. This doesn't have that, but the way Peter was explaining it is because of that plate on the top here, this plate here. You can go around the backside and I can actually kind of show you if you get the zoomed in there. You have this hard ox plate comb thing here. So similar to the jaw crusher where you have to force the material against the other side, if this was just a regular screening bucket and you didn't have that plate there, the material tends to bounce around, right? And it takes longer to crush. Now with this plate up in the top here and the direction of the drums, the reversible drums, when you're throwing it in normal direction, you're going to throw it up this way and it's going to be forced up against this plate back into the drums and crush instead of bouncing around for a longer time. So that's where the similarity is, where you're now throwing it against the other side, but it's not actually like a plate moving in there. It's just strictly drums.
Peter also mentioned that the material is being sized down to about 2 inches. Now, would you consider that ready to resell, or would you want to put it through another machine to process more, or is that a good size for you?
For me, 2 inches is a great size.
Okay.
Reason being is when you're doing recycling and crushing concrete, like when you go to the pit and you get new Grand A, 3/4 crusher, run, whatever you want to call it, wherever you are, that's made from rock, that's brand new product. You got the right amount of fine mixed with your stone. We find when we're crushing recycled concrete, and say you got a lot of block or something in there, cinder block, it tends to turn into a lot more fines. So at 3/4, your processing time is slower and you end up with a lot of fines. And if you're dealing with muddy material, you're ending up with a lot of fine mud. And 2 inches is a great size because it's a reusable base stone. Depends on the project. You might have to get a geotech to get a proctor on it so you can actually use it if it has to be spec'd to meet certain compaction standards. But where I am, a lot of times we just sell it for recycled base. Farmers love the stuff for like laneways. If you're just building a laydown yard somewhere and it's not, having to meet engineered spec, it works really great. And it can meet engineered spec too. You just have to have the geotechs run the proper testing and gives you the number they want to get, whatever compaction level they're asking for. But 2 inch is a great base. So basically, a lot of times you get parking lot specs anyways, and road base spec, a lot of times it starts with 12 to 16 inches of Grand B or 2 inch crush anyways, and then you finish it with a layer of 150 mil 6 inches of Grand A 3/4 crush. So if you're reusing it on a job, you can put it down as your base layer, and then you just throw your clean new granular on top. The one thing that I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on this is the output tonnage. We're expecting to get, up to 100 tons per hour processing to a 2 inch finished product. If I compare that to my current jaw crushing bucket, I'm getting at best 30 to 35 tons an hour.
So that's going to be significant.
So this is going to be significantly quicker, and I'm really excited about that because I don't own a mobile plant, and now I think with this bucket we're going to be able to compete against the guys running the smaller mobile plants. They're getting, maybe 120, 150 ton an hour at best, probably averaging 100 tons an hour, making 2 inch. If I can make 2 inch at 80 to 100 tons an hour, but I'm only mobilizing one excavator, my pulverizer, which they have to mobilize as well because they also have to pulverize, and they have to bring the excavator to load their plant or a wheel loader or whatever. I'm bringing one excavator in, 2 attachments, less mobilization, less burning diesel, and just running through. So I'm really excited about that.
Very nice. All right, good. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and I know my audience will too.
No problem.